Good morning, all. Well, I'd like to talk about growing plants in Puna. Puna is a tropical rainforest. Down low, it's jungly. It's more temperate-like as you rise up in elevation here, but it's, in general, it's a jungle, and it rains a whole heck of a lot around here. Things grow at a rate of speed in this area, if they're adapted, that really you would not believe, honestly. When I show people how fast my bamboo grows or how fast a kukui nut tree grows around here, a neighbor put in a 1-gallon hibiscus a year ago next door. The thing is now 10 feet high and spreading. Yeah, things will really grow around here. And that also goes for the weeds and the jungle vegetation. There is very little of anything in Lower Puna that was actually native to the state of Hawaii at this point. Sorry, but vast majority of what's down here has pretty much all been destroyed by cattle, by logging, by farming, you name it. Yeah, development, whatever. It's so many factors, and then things that were imported to the island, pests, diseases that the local plants couldn't take either. Kind of pushed them up the mountain. Koa grows better at 4,000 feet and up than it does down here because of water molds that came here. At one time, apparently, it grew almost with the 50-foot elevation of the shore. No longer. So you're faced with competition. Competition is insane. It's just nuts. And we have some of the worst weeds on earth here too, because when something sits down on this island and it likes it here, but none of the rest of us like it here, that is, likes the plant here, it just takes off. It doesn't have to be plants. It could be frogs too. It could be a lot of different things. That not everything is adapted here. Some things come here and they don't survive. They're just gone real fast. Other things come, they stay, and you can't get rid of them. And in some cases, they start crowding out everything that used to be here. They're not polite. Well, to tell the story, I have seen many people, I can't count them, who have come here to the islands from the mainland, and they came here with their understandings and their experiences of growing things from California or from Colorado or Oregon or someplace like that. And, well, they come here, and most of what you know doesn't apply anymore. I've seen this repeatedly. I had a buddy who bought a property over near Pahoa, and well, it used to be an old ginger flower farm, and it was overrun with all kind of stuff, and especially albizia trees, which are a terrible weed. Gunpowder trees, again, terrible weed. Had some avocados growing wild. They were pretty good. Most of the rest of it wasn't worth saving, but he had this idea in his mind that, oh no, I'm going to do this in the permaculture style. We're not going to damage the ground, etc., etc. Yeah, well, he went and they cleared out trees they didn't want, and they took out bushes and things like this. Went through and kind of opened it up a lot, so the sun was now pouring into the property, and he left a few avocado trees and such around. Well, he went back to California for 6 months, and he came back, and I'm over here, and he calls me up, and he goes, Billy, you got to come over and help. You got to come help. I go, I told you. I told you. And what happened was that as soon as he let the light in, everything in the forest floor took off. He had the most incredible nightmare, tangly, unwalkable mass of vines and stuff full of pigs. It was terrible. It was terrible. 6 months, all it took. Go from what he thought was nice and clean. I'm going to go back to California, come back, we'll start on something. Oh man, no. He actually ended up in the long run, when he finally come down to reality, he pretty much bulldozed the entire place. Yeah, You know, they ended up doing a lot of terraforming over there before they got the property right. It ended up real nice. And I guess his wife got lucky because the lava did miss him. Yeah, it missed him the last time around, so it still stands. I've seen other folks, they come over here, it was from Washington, I believe, and they buy a little lot, and she starts wanting to plant flowers and things, you know, that they haven't really got any kind of a plan. There's no plan, okay? But yeah, she wants to start growing some stuff. So they buy stuff from me, they buy stuff at the other nurseries, they get it from Home Depot, they buy sacks of dyed wood mulch, you know, to mulch it with, and go in and clean out some of the brush and vegetation under the ohias and plant out all this pretty stuff and mulch it with the pretty wood mulch, and come back 6 months later and there's nothing there. The miley vines and the rest of the jungle just completely devoured it. There was almost no way to even begin to think about recovering it. You would have had to pretty much, if you could find them, dig out whatever you had planted, repot it, and then rethink the situation, because it doesn't work that way here. No, you're not going to get away with that kind of a simple plan like you might if you're living in Minnesota, you know, and you till up a spot and put some flowers in it. It might still sort of be a garden 3 months later, but not around here. The jungle will encroach. The jungle will destroy all of your work. Yeah, we've worked very hard on this 2 acres. As you can see by these shots of what's around us and what's across the street and what happens with the neighbors, just how much work we've done and how much work it makes us keep putting out to make it stay that way. Stinking jungle mess. Oh, jungle mess. Now, this mess is next door. It's the neighbors. That's just how bad everything can get around here. Jungle mess. Well, here's one side of the fence line. That's our side. You see some koa trees and bananas, pineapples, lychee, hoop house full of orchids. This is the neighbor's side. Now, this is what happens to you when you don't have a plan. Look at this. You can't move through that stuff. And we keep our side neat, trimmed, clean, but look, that junk just hangs over, breaks, and falls on our side constantly, and I'm forever cleaning it up. Now, because shade restricts growth at ground level, planting your fruit trees, here's citrus here, papayas here, they're planted in fairly tight groups. That creates a pocket of shade and it limits the amount of growth that comes up from underneath. Now here we have combinations of avocados, papayas, chili peppers, and yacon, all planted in a clump together. Well, one really good reason for doing this, well, it competes the weeds, but it also sucks up the excess moisture. Now, if you take a look there across the street, you'll see jungle, mostly guavas and wainaku grass. But if you look around over here, on this side of the street, things are neat and clean. Why is that? Because we had a plan. There was a time where if somebody said, oh man, it must take so much energy, I'd have gone, no, it's no big thing, you know. Just do it. No, those days are gone. Now, at my age, I don't really think I could barely do this again. At least I don't want to have to do this all over again. Because this was just wild land when we walked into it, 2 acres of wild land. So everything you see here, houses, internets, telephones, driveways, orange trees, you name it, nursery tables, everything was put in, built by us. I had help. But yeah, I don't think I could do it again. I know now that I've got quite a few people that I actually hire, several, to come in and help me try to maintain this. The rules are, the more work you put into a piece of property and the better you get it looking, the neater it is up to the fence lines and the better the landscaping looks, guarantee, the more work you're going to be doing forever for the rest of your life. Yes. Yeah, if you just took 1 acre of cow pasture and put a house in the middle, did nothing else, and just hired some guy with a mower to come through, or buy yourself a riding mower and mow the grass down, once a month or so, it's not a lot of work. No, it's pretty easy. But you start planting shrubs and food and orchards and vegetable gardens and all that, oh man, you got your work cut out for you. Yeah, you're gonna have chickens attacking your stuff. The cardinals are gonna come in and they're gonna pull up all your peas. You're gonna have to buy a BB machine gun like I did, to keep them out of the blueberries. I'm dead serious. You turn your back on anything around here for just a matter of months, and the jungle eats it. You're constantly like this, trying to push the jungle back if you want a neat, orderly, clean-looking space similar to something you might see over in the other 48 states. But it's a lot easier to maintain it over there. Yeah, you don't get the rain. We get 150 inches of rain around here. I got soil, too. Stuff just grows. Holy smoke. Now you see a couple of royal palms over there on the left, and on the right we got some citrus trees and abiu, but sticking up between them there's Himalayan purple stripe bamboo. It's a big clump right there in the middle. It's I don't know, 25 feet up in the air, maybe it's 30 feet up, I'm not sure. The spread on it is well over 20 feet. That was a 1-gallon pot, a single stalk, 18 inches high, February 2017. 7 years time, it's grown into that. I have been harvesting it. It makes stalks big enough to build a house from. They're 4 inches in diameter and 30 feet tall. And the clump has actually been harvested. We take pieces out of there, and I use it all over the place. Right here on the shade cloth there over the orchids, that's bamboo holding them up. There's bamboo all over the place from that plant. To give you some idea just what kind of development of vegetation can put on around here. There we go, folks. Short, sweet, simple. Just a careful warning, because I see it frequently. If you decide that you are actually going to try to start some sort of development on property here in the east side of the Big Island, I highly recommend that you have a plan of action. Sit down, think it out, try to decide where are you going and what's going to happen when I do this, and how can I keep that from occurring because I'm doing this. Because every time you change something, everything else around it changes too. Yes, the dynamic will alter itself. What you see now is not what you get in the long run. Okay? So think it over, and just main point, have a plan. Hang loose.